Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So friends, relying on the kind of participation which I am receiving from my community, from the members, so I just thought we can keep on continuing what I have just started on my channel, which is about the spirituality, which is about when we talk about the attainment of the purest and highest of your spiritual potential, how can we look at it or study it from Vedic astrology? So friends, in this video we will have our discussion on this specific divisional chart called as the D20 chart, Vimśāṁśa chart. It is a very important chart when we talk about the spiritual potential, when we talk about worship, prayers, the kind of upasana which you have to do for your spiritual attainment. So in this video friends, we will be trying to look at all verticals, attributes of the D20 chart, its formation, which all houses in this divisional chart becomes more important, what all deities or gods are connected with this divisional chart, Jupiter's placement in all the houses of the D20 chart, what does it tell about specific form of sadhana, spiritual practices which are tailor-made or meant for you. And also because there is a high possibility because of the division of this divisional chart that you will find in majority of the cases Rahu and Ketu to be placed in the same house. Now we know that Rahu and Ketu are the planets of destiny. They are the planet which somehow represents the pending karma. So what is Rahu and Ketu's placement in one house in your D20 chart tells about? All of that we try to decode in this video. Like the way friends, I always say, when you get into the deeper nitty-gritty of the spiritual realization or God realization, so you cannot bound it, you cannot restrict it to any specific religion, any specific faith. Here we are trying to reach and have the access to the spirit residing within us. So I mean to say, no matter what your religion is, what your faith is, because in a lot of my videos when and even in the consultation, when I'm giving consultation to someone and if I find a planet which is causing trouble, so obviously being a devout Hindu, majority of the remedies which I recommend, they are somehow connected with our Hindu scriptures only, like our Sanatan Dharma only. Like if you have any affliction to Jupiter or Mercury, so do the Vishnu Sahasranam. If you have any affliction to the moon, get a Rudra Abhishek done. But when we talk about a topic like D20 chart, I would say that it is equally applicable for everyone. So even in the morning, in the meditation session, our the Buddhist teacher, the Grand Master, we were listening to one of his Dharma teachings, discourses. Over there he explained this thing that there was one disciple in a monastery, in a Buddhist circle, and he was supposed to die on the 8th day. So the Guru saw it from his third eye, that this is going to happen. So he asked the disciple to go and visit your family. But and he was sure this thing because his assessment, his cleverance, the divine foresight has never betrayed him. But on the 8th day, he returned and even he was surprised. Then he again gotten back into the meditation and saw that just because that kid was in a habit of doing a good deed, he was earning pure merits even in those 7 days. Like once there was heavy rain and all the small insects and ants were trapped over there in a mound of the sand, and he took off his own robe and kind of created a bridge to save all those small insects. So he has had that level of compassion even for the small insects. So I mean to say, everything is interconnected, interrelated friends, and these kind of charts, especially D20 chart, this could be D24 chart, D60 chart plays a very significant role. See, when we talk about the D60 chart or Shashtyamsha chart has got more to do with what you have sown in the past, which you are reaping in this lifetime. But when we talk about, okay, whatever it is, now I have got that epiphany, awakening, realization, now I want to make peace with my life. I want to earn some pure merits, but I'm confused. What kind of path is more suited for me? What kind of like spiritual activities are more suited for me, for my soul? So those kind of information you generally get to know from the D9 chart and from the D20 chart. I always say, like, when you go for any astrological consultation, some people have this habit of getting impressed if the astrologer has made some prophecy. Prophecy is good, but what is the difference if something is meant to happen or bound to happen? Important is what you can do every day to earn spiritual merit to counter that. And when you get into the nitty-gritty of like these kind of very core advanced divisional chart, then you get to know about the path which is more tailor-made and more suited for you. So okay friends, now we will switch to the narration part, and we will try to understand all verticals, all attributes of D20 chart, and specifically studying the placement of Jupiter in all the houses. So friends, it's not an exaggeration to call D20 chart like Vimśāṁśa chart as the spiritual operating system. This is the divisional chart most used to assess upasana, worship, inner purification and spiritual temperament. All the information regarding the Guru-Shishya Parampara, lineage and the style of your sadhana, what actually works for your consciousness when you sit to practice, we get to know from this chart. Now the computation part, friends, I'm sure in this standalone video I cannot teach you, but just a generalized idea. Each sign is divided into 20 parts of 1 degree 30 minutes each. Now exact start points and mapping rules vary by tradition software. So for advanced work, use one consistent Prashari D20 scheme across all charts you compare. Now comes the question, friends, to start with. What to study when you are reading D20? So think of D20 as answering what is my spiritual doorway, what are my blocks, and what is my ripe fruit. The foundational text for the accurate dharma grammar is like if you follow Bhagavad Gita, which talks about the Karam Yoga, which leads to the Jnāna, Yoga Sutras, which emphasize more on the Abhyas, like practice, Vairagya, like sacrifice, the Chit Vritti. Same is the way Upanishad, which talks about the whole like commentary over there is on the Atma and the Brahman discrimination and the kind of light, the lamp behind all the Upasana. Devi Mahatmya or the Puranic Devi narratives has got more to do with the Shakti, goddess, connected with the protection, with the tapas, with the grace. And friends, when we talk about like as an astrologer or as an astrology enthusiast, which all houses play a very significant role in this chart. So obviously friends, to start with, 5th house is important because 5th house in the D20 chart will talk about the mantra merit, pur punya devotion, through good merits, through service and through Simran, through mantra chanting. And 5th house in the D20 chart is very important because it will tell you about the style of devotion. So mantra merit, pur punya devotion, we get to know from the 5th house, very important house in the analysis of this chart. 9th house in the D20 chart, which like majorly tells about the sampradaya, like the Guru Shishya lineage, Guru grace or the Dharma transmission. 12th house in the D20 chart is very important because this chart tells about the moksha direction, the spiritual realization, the purification, solitude, vairagya, surrender, we see from this. 6th house, 8th house, 12th house is also very important because they talk about the tapas, the penance intensity, obstacles, breakthroughs, hidden enemies. See friends, astrology is not that complicated, only if you will try to understand it in its core. Why people say that when the Ketu Dasha comes, people start having financial or material losses. It's just like that. It is not Ketu's nature to give you wealth. Ketu's innate nature is to cut you from all the illusion of the wealth, from all the wealth, so that you can work towards what will stay with you when you will die, which is the purity of your soul, the pure merits. So 6th house, 8th house, 12th house are also important in the analysis of the D20 chart. Now friends, you also have to know the 4 path of the yoga through the lens of D20. So most people think they are one path, but D20 shows what their nervous system and karma will actually allow. Like for example, the Karma Yoga, the Seva mark. So D20 signature for that is a strong 6th house, 10th house and the 11th house. Benefits supporting this discipline. And the fruit which you will get is going to be through purification of ego through duty and humility. The second path is of the Bhakti Yoga, surrender mark. The D20 signature for that is a strong 5th house, 9th house and the 12th house in the D20 chart. Moon, Jupiter, Venus are going to be well placed, and the fruit of that will come in a form of tears of devotion, protection, grace, quick heart opening. The Jnana Yoga, friends, the Vivek mark. So the Jnana Yoga or the Vivek mark in the D20, you will see the signature of that through strong influence of Mercury and Jupiter, strong 1st house, 5th house, 9th house, and a very clean, unafflicted Saturn. The fruit will come in the form of discrimination, detachment, and the truth force. And the fourth friend is the Raja Yoga or the Kundalini, Ashtang, inner technology. Like in D20 chart, the signature of that is going to be very powerful 8th house and the 12th house. Strong Mars and Saturn with proper guidance, and there is going to be benefit protection. So the fruit of that will come in a form of the pranic ascent, inner absorption, but it will require to correct the containment as well. Now friends, the advanced rule of the D20 does not just show what path, it shows the price of that path. It means discipline, isolation, service, vows or ego death. Now the deities of Vimśāṁśa, the Devi guardian of the spiritual section within this, like all that 20 section of 1 degree 30 minutes each. So a widely used Prashari tradition assigns presiding deities, mostly Devi forms, to the 20 division with one sequence for odd signs and another for even signs. So the odd sign sequence include Goddess Kali, Gauri, Jaya, Lakshmi, Vijaya, Vimla, Sati, Tara, Jwalamukhi, Shweta, Lalita, Baglamukhi, Pratyangira, Sachi, Rodri, Bhavani, Varda, Jaya, Tripura, Sumukhi. And the even sign sequence is going to be of Daya, Medha, Chinna, Pishachini, Dhumavati, Matangi, Bala, Bhadra, Aruna, Anala, Pingala, Ghora, Varahi, Vaishnavi. So that's how, friends, you have to see. That is not possible to explain even all these divisions individually, but I will try to give you as much as information as it is possible in this standalone one video on the D20 chart. So how to use this spiritually in a spiritually advanced way. So look at it in this way, that the D20 Lagna or the Atma Karaka as well in this zone deity shows your primary door to the divine, your Upāsana temperament. And friends, when I say Atma Karaka, so Atma Karaka and all the Gemini Karakas get calculated from the ascendant chart only. So I'm talking about in the D20 chart, D20 chart's ascendant lord, ascendant, and the Atma Karaka, planet with the highest degree, which you will figure out from the ascendant chart. That deity will show your primary door to the divine, your Upāsana temperament. And the benefits protecting that deity zone is talking more about easier protection, and the harsh affliction over there tells about test before access, like purification before entry. Now comes the question, friends, how Jupiter works in the D20 chart specifically. So in the D1 chart, in the main ascendant chart, if Jupiter is dharma and the fortune, in this D20 chart, Jupiter becomes Guru Tattva inside your sadhana. That's what we say when we bow down to any spiritual master or any teacher. We are somehow invoking the Guru Tattva inside us and praying to the Guru Tattva inside that teacher. So in D20 chart, Jupiter becomes Guru Tattva inside your sadhana, your relationship with the scripture, capacity to surrender ego to higher law, blessing through mantra, initiation and guidance, spiritual protection, especially against wrong teachers, wrong practice and wrong ambition. Also friends, Jupiter in the D20 can indicate Siddhi potential, but classical yoga teaching is blunt. Siddhis are side effects and often the final exam is not getting trapped by them. So friends, now let's get to the part of understanding Jupiter in the D20 chart, all the 12 houses, and looking at it from the lens of Siddhi and the elevation. So let's say for example, if in the D20 chart you have Jupiter being placed in the first house. So friends, this talks more about the sadhak kind of identity. Like for example, now you will be wondering that what could be the gift. So this talks about the natural guru aura. Faith becomes your personality, and this is also a sign of the strong protection. Like the wisdom and the guru tattva will protect you in the life. Like the way friends we say that these kind of higher truth you cannot pursue in that path if from the other side the divinity is not allowing it, is not permitting it. So then that means in your sadhana, in your advancement, the Guru Tattva will protect you. The Siddhi tendency with this, if I were to say, so the spiritual charisma is going to be very strong. Like especially friends, if you will be in the like-minded people, like if you will be in a like-minded community and all, so they will identify you. You will very easily gel, you will very easily blend. So you will have that spiritual charisma, blessing gaze and teaching presence. The trap for this is that Narad type pride of being chosen. So that is what you have to be mindful. In the Puranas, there have been many stories of Narad Rishi and his his debate on and off with Lord Vishnu. One such I remember friends, what happened. So it's a very very motivating story. So Narad Rishi, radiant with his devotion and wisdom, once he developed that pride that no trace of Maya could touch him. To dissolve this ego, Lord Vishnu chose a divine lesson. When a celestial princess announced a Swayamvar, Narad somehow desired to marry her and prayed for Lord Vishnu for unmatched beauty. Lord Vishnu smiled and granted the boon, yet concealed the truth. So at the assembly, Narad saw his reflection and was horrified. He bore the face of a monkey. Now the princess, obviously she was repulsed, rejected him publicly, choosing Vishnu, Lord Vishnu instead, who appeared supremely enchanting. Humiliated and burning with wounded pride, Narad realized the Lord's play. In anguish, he cursed Lord Vishnu. He cursed Lord Vishnu that in future incarnation, he too would lose his beloved wife and suffer separation, only to reclaim her with the aid of monkeys. And Vishnu accepted the curse serenely, later fulfilling it as Lord Rama, teaching that ego, even saints, must bow before divine humility. So friends, you would have got to know that the trap, the Rishi lesson for you if Jupiter is in the first house of the D20. So be very mindful of that pride of being chosen one. And that is the only reason a lot of the people, after gaining in the path of the spirituality, then they have to face the fall because of their ego and the pride. So the tapasya key for this person is anonymity and seva to dissolve the spiritual ego. And friends, the best DT, because the core lesson, because this is a Guru Shakti embodiment, and the core lesson is become the teaching. So you have to become the teaching. It's just not like that you have to just preach, you have to become that. The best DTs, I would say that Dakshinamurti, Brahaspati, Goddess Saraswati, they all embody teaching and wisdom. The practice is the silent teaching, the Jñāna contemplation. Like in the Gurukul, this used to be the case. All the disciples and Shishya on an advanced level, they just used to get one simple line from their teacher. And the instruction they used to get that manan on this, like contemplate on this for next few days. And I guess that is what they have shown in the Karate Kid as well. Like before teaching the kid, I forgot the name of the teacher, Mr. Miyagi. That's what he asked the student. to keep on doing that. Clean the car in this pattern. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the practice is silent teaching, Jñāna contemplation. The Rishi trap is Narad. We have already talked about that. And the Tapasya antidote is anonymity, and I mentioned Seva without recognition. Okay friends, let's move forward. If you have to see, Jupiter is placed in the second house in your D20 chart. It tells more about the vak, the mantra speech, the lineage wealth. So comes the question, the gift you have is of the mantra pronunciation. Shastra vak, like you could have that capacity to gain expertise over the shastras. Kirtan power, like that trend of the bhajan, singing the glory of the gods. Kirtan power, and there has to be that dharma, righteousness in your speech. The Siddhi tendency, I have already mentioned, the Vak Siddhi seeds, like words will manifest very fast. The trap for you is like the way we say the Rishi Durvasa and his curse pattern. So anger in the speech needs to be monitored. And the Tapasya, I have already said, what you have to do is telling the truth with softness. Speech has to be used as offering, and the maun, the silence, learning the lesson of that. The best deities for you, because the core lesson for you is of the speech as mantra. So the best deities for you could be Goddess Saraswati, Vak Devi or Devi Lalita. The practice, again friends, mantra japa aloud, like the way it used to happen in the Gurukul. So loud mantra japa and the shastras recitation. The trap, again, the Durvasa Rishi pattern. So anger in the words could be a trap for you. Now friends, let's move ahead. Now if we have to look at Jupiter's placement in the third house of the D20 chart, which tells about the effort, discipline and the tapas stamina. So the gift for you is daily practice becomes non-negotiable, and you have the courage, you have to demonstrate the courage to persist. The Siddhi tendency for you is breath control progress, pranic endurance. And the trap for you could be of the Vishwamitra, like I will conquer through will alone. And the Tapasya for you friends is, with this placement, surrender the fruits. Let the grace complete what efforts start. And friends, with this, because the core lesson with this placement is about discipline beats inspiration, right? So the best deities which could be suited for you is in the path of the sadhana is Lord Skand or Lord Hanuman. The practice which I can recommend you is pranayam, daily fixed sadhana. Consistency becomes more important. So, and yes friend, the tapasya for you is surrender the results to the Guru. You just have to do your actions, you just have to do your efforts. The result of that, leave it in the hands of the divinity. Now friends, if you have to understand Jupiter's placement in the fourth house of your D20 chart, this acts like an inner sanctuary, heart temple. The gift to you is deep inner peace, devotional warmth, temple at home kind of energy. The Siddhi tendency is spontaneous meditation, inner bhav, dream guidance. The trap for you could be, like we say, that attachment to the comfort or stability. Like for example, you get stable, secure, and now that has taken a toll in your sadhana. So not like I would say, don't avoid the inner fire. Tapasya for you could be the voluntary simplicity or deepened silence. So friends, the core lesson with this placement is about stability before ascent. The best deities for you could be Annapurna, Mahalakshmi. Practice for you is heart-centered bhakti, puja at home. The trap for you could be the spiritual comfort addiction, that I don't have to do any more, I am at a best place. And yes, the tapasya for you is voluntary simplicity. Now friends, when we talk about Jupiter's placement in the fifth house, it is one of the good placement which tells about mantra, pur punya, devata connection. The gift for you is fast mantra uptake, bhakti intelligence, sacred memory from the past lives. The Siddhi tendency for use of the mantra Siddhi potential, especially if your D9, D24 also supports it. It is also unafflicted clean. The trap for you could be using mantra for the control, like subtle blackmail of the cosmos. And the tapasya for you, friends, is mantra for purification, not outcomes. Like, don't tag it. Like, if this will happen, then I will do this. And the tapasya path for you could be guru guided vrat. And so, friends, like in your case, purity becomes more important, powerful than the power. So because Jupiter in the 5th house in D20 is the mantra siddhi gate, the best deities for you could be Gayatri or the Narayan or any form of Devi. Practice for you is mantra japa with a proper niyam, consistency, a proper discipline. The trap for you could be outcome based mantra use, that only if this thing will happen, then I will do this. So don't attach the material fruits with it. And the tapasya for you is mantra for inner cleansing only. Now friends, if you will find Jupiter in the D20 chart in the 6th house, this talks about Shatru, inner enemies, purification battles. So friends, the gift with this placement is ability to defeat lust, anger, greed through structured discipline. Siddhi tendency is healing, Seva Siddhi, service miracles. Those people I have like come across, like even the place where I am linked with in Vancouver area for the meditation. So they are very strong followers of the medicine Buddha. So people who have that healing powers in their touch, those master, those advanced teacher who heal even the diseases. So I mean to say, you might have that service miracle. No placement in these spiritual alignments are bad or like a curse. It is for our own good only. So the trap for you could be spiritual warfare identity. I'm always fighting. The tapasya for you is compassion for the shadow. Stable routine beats the dramatic austerity. And friends, Jupiter in the 6th house of the D20 chart has got more to do with the Seva yoga. That means the core lesson for you is service burns karma. The best deities for you could be Dhanvantri or Bhairav. The practice for you is the healing, seva, routine discipline. The trap for you is that sort of ego of being a spiritual warrior kind of identity. And the tapasya for you is compassion toward weakness. Now friends, Jupiter in the 7th house of the D20 chart. This talks about the Guru-Shishya mirror, like the teacher and the disciple mirror. Spiritual relationship, like the gift to you with this placement is blessing through teachers. Sangh, like companionship, camaraderie. Spouse as the dharma catalyst. The siddhi tendency is transmission through dialogue. Counseling power. The trap for you could be projection, idolizing guru, partner, and later rebellion. The tapasya for you is, friends, like the discernment or the vivek and the devotion, bhakti together. So vivek and bhakti, discernment and devotion has to go hand in hand, has to go together. So friends, Jupiter in the 7th house of the D20 chart is like a guru mirror. Grace comes through others. Best deities for you is like Shiva Shakti, Narayana Lakshmi, like the gods as couple. The practice for you is satsang or guru seva, idolization which can lead to rebellion. And the tapasya for you is, I mentioned, vivek and bhakti, discernment and the devotion, a balance of that. Now friends, if you will find Jupiter in the D20 chart but in the 8th house, this is the house of the occult, tantra, kundalini gates, transformation. So the gift to you is access to hidden teachings. Again, I'm saying this thing, no placement when you are in the path of the spirituality, no placement is bad. So you would have like heard those stories. Like I was listening to this channel Bhajan Marg, where the Premanandji Maharaj gave his very divine spiritual discourses, and one of the follower asked this question, sir, why the Akashvani, those prophecy from the clouds, they don't happen now, or before even the demons used to get those like prophecy, the Akashvani. And the teacher, like the Premanandji Maharaj ji, gave very good prediction. Like in those times, whom you see as demons and all, even to get the powers, they used to do very intense penance to get those powers. Like Hiranyakashyap, Ravan, there have been those mentioned that just the bone was left in their body. They were deeply focused in their penance to please the God, to get the boons from them, and that is the only reason they got that power. So we are not doing that thing now, right? So I mean to say, 8th house in a purest essence has got that power, and especially if it is being supported by the malefic planet, these are those people who can undergo these kind of extreme penance in order to get that third eye awakening and those supernatural powers. So if you have your Jupiter in the 8th house in the D20 chart, the gift you have is of access to hidden teachings, rapid inner metamorphosis. Siddhi tendency is Kundali openings if ethically held together. The trap for you with this placement could be of the Vishwamitra, tested by Menaka. Power meets desire. And the Tapasya is Brahmacharya as like celibacy as energy governance, not repression. And we say strict guidance. So friends, in a way, the core lesson, because Jupiter in the D20 chart in the 8th house has to do with strong inclination towards Tantra and Kundalini. The core lesson is power demands purity. The best deities for you is Goddess Kali, Bhairav, Pratyangira. The practice for you is like guided Tantra only, under the guidance of a awakened Guru. The trap, we all know the story of the Vishwamitra and the Menaka, the seduction pattern. And the Tapasya is Brahmacharya as the energy governance. Now friends, if in the D20 chart you have Jupiter in the 9th house, so this is the house of the Dharma, initiation, Sampradaya, like the lineage and the blessing. So the gift is strong Guru grace, like right book at right time, karma. The Siddhi tendency is Shastra Praman, clarity, like people generally who follow the rule book, they do all those things and everything which has been prescribed and recommended in the holy books. So the person needs to have like a proper Shastra Praman clarity. I have like heard this from many like scholars, even some of those people who are in the top of the business, that when they used to get struck, those who are like obviously follow Hindu Dharma, they used to turn to Bhagavad Gita when they used to feel struck, perplexed or confused, to seek the guidance, and they used to find that guidance from the Bhagavad Gita. So that is what I'm trying to tell you, that the Siddhi tendency for you is Shastra Praman, like the religion approved clarity. Teaching authority. The trap for this person could be dogma, like thinking your lineage is the only doorway. Tapasya potential, humility before truth, honor all sincere path. So friends, with this placement we get to know Jupiter in the D20 chart in the 9th house has to do with the lineage grace. Like the core lesson is receive then transmit. If I were to recommend the deities for the worship, I would say Dakshinamurti or the Narayan himself. Practice is reading the scriptures. Again friends, whatever your faith allows. If you are like Christian, you are Muslim, this could be Bible, so this could be Quran, but Shastra study and teaching. The trap for you could be of the dogma, and the tapasya for you is honor all sincere path. Now friends, if you will find Jupiter in the 10th house in the D20 chart, so for you, karma in the world as spiritual duty. The gift you have is your vocation becomes the yagna, spiritual leadership in the society. Siddhi tendency for you is organizing power for dharma movements, temples, teachings. The trap for you could be mixing status with spirituality, like making use of the platform or using the platform for the realization. And the tapasya for you is invisible service, let results go. And friends, because this is a placement which can be seen as dharma in action. So the core lesson for you is world as the Yagna. It means the best deity, if I were to recommend, Vishwakarma, or this could be the Lord Ram. The practice for you is the Karma Yoga leadership. The trap for you is platform which can be used for the realization confusion. And the Tapasya is like completely surrendering yourself to the divine will, all of your actions. Now friends, if you have Jupiter in the 11th house in the D20 chart, so this is a placement which talks about the Sangha, gains, blessing through network. The gift for you is powerful spiritual community, being a part of a spiritual community. Collective merit grows quickly. The Siddhi tendency for you is group healing, mass mantra or the Kirtan effects. The trap for you could be spiritual marketplace, measuring growth by followers and the donation. The Tapasya for you is purity of the intention, give more than you take. And friends, Jupiter's placement in the 11th house, if I were to summarize it, the core lesson here is of the collective merit. The best deities for you to worship is, this could be Lord Ganesha, this could be Devi, goddess in the protective form, not in the aggressive form, in the protective form. The practice for you is group mantra or the Kirtan, we call it. The trap for you is that spiritual marketplace mentality. And the Tapasya for you is generosity beyond expectation. Now friends, if you have your Jupiter in the 12th house, in the D20 chart, it talks about the moksha, solitude, samadhi, surrender. The gift you have is of the natural vairagya, longing for liberation, strong dream, silence channel. The Siddhi tendency you have is of absorption states, steady meditation fruit. The trap for you is escapism, like using moksha talk to avoid dharma or dharmic responsibilities. And the Tapasya for you is like Rishi pattern, could be of the Markandeya kind devotion, complete surrender and steadiness and no shortcut. So friends, if I were to summarize, the core lesson for you with this placement is let go completely. Best deity for you is like, this could be Lord Vishnu, Shiva, Narayana. The practice for you is meditation, solitude, japa. The trap for you is escapism. And the Tapasya for you is like grounded renunciation, like Rishi Markandeya. Friends, understand this thing. D20 shows how you walk the path. Jupiter shows how safely you walk it. And the deity shows who opens the gate. Siddhis are byproduct. Stability, humility and compassion are the proof of progress. Ask yourself, if you are doing any spiritual practice consistently, how compassionate it has made you with the passage of time. This is the right scale to measure it, rather than are you able to give any prophecy or have you gained any siddhi. So friends, now comes the question, how to judge the siddhi potential without getting trapped. Okay, so the very first thing is protection comes first. Jupiter in D20 must be supported by benefic link, like strong Lagna and Lagnesh in the D20 chart to prevent the wrong path detours. So Jupiter in the D20 must be supported by the benefic links, strong Lagna, Lagnesh, to prevent the wrong path detour. The D20 and the D9 confirmation, because D20 shows the spiritual engine, but the D9 shows whether your ethics mature under life pressure or not. D20 and the D24 confirmation is also important, because if D24 is weak or afflicted, the person may have experience but lack stable doctrine discipline to hold them. And again friends, Siddhi is not always liberation. Siddhi becomes a test unless paired with humility, seva and devotion. And we all have heard about like the Rishi trap map, like temptation, the karma, which Vishwamitra, the story of the pride, seduction, we all have heard. Or this could be of the anger, krodh, like Durvasa Rishi, when the spiritual power becomes the curse. The ego, ahankar, I narrated the story of the Narad Rishi. I know blocks I become just because Lord Narad, like sage Narad, was such a strong disciple of Lord Vishnu that in the Puranas there have been many versions, many stories where how Lord Vishnu have humbled Narad Rishi. So attachment, where we say sages who stop at comfort or recognition, or this could be fear, quitting practice right before the breakthrough. So friends, a D20 strong Jupiter tells about you recover from the trap faster and return to the path with deeper wisdom. So friends, the practical application for the Kundalini or the advanced yogis is like if D20 shows intense 8th house, 12th house activation with Jupiter support, pursue the gradual Kriya like Kundalini, gradual Kriya, and strong grounding like Seva, diet, sleep, ethics. If Jupiter is compromised in D20, prioritize the Bhakti and the Yam and the Niyama before intense Kundalini activation. And the true sign of readiness is not phenomena, it is stability, compassion, and humility. And friends, before I will let you go, let's talk about, like briefly, let's talk about, because as per the calculation, there's going to be strong possibility that you might have Rahu Ketu in the same house in the D20 chart. So what it really means for sadhana, siddhi and spiritual safety. See, first of all, a grounding statement. In D20, Rahu Ketu do not primarily shows events. They show how consciousness polarizes, fractures or integrate during sadhana. When Rahu and Ketu fall in the same house of D20, it signals something very specific and rare in spiritual psychology. So now comes the question, why Rahu Ketu can appear in the same D20 house? So technically this happens because Vimśāṁśa division are very small, 1 degree 30 minutes each. The nodal axis can fall within the same divisional segment. But spiritually, coincidence does not exist in D20. Same house Rahu Ketu means karmic loop collapsed into a single spiritual battlefield. This is not weakness, it is concentration. The core meaning, friends, is the soul has already exhausted external polarity. Now the entire Rahu Ketu axis turns inward. No running away, no balancing act, no this life versus past life tug of war. Everything happens inside consciousness. And how this changes the D20 interpretation entirely. See, normally Rahu is the hunger, obsession, experimentation, acceleration. Ketu is detachment, past mastery, withdrawal, moksha impulse. When separated, they pull the sadhak, devotee between. Desire leads to renunciation or power, which could be surrender. So desire and the renunciation, a tug of war between them, or this could be power and the surrender. But when together in the D20, Rahu becomes desire for transcendence and Ketu becomes disgust with all partial truth. This creates a volatile but potent inner alchemy. So what this says about the past life spiritual karma, Rahu and Ketu. Same house Rahu Ketu in D20 usually indicates one of these past life pattern. This could be an advanced sadhak who stopped midway. You gained insight but did not stabilize humility or compassion. Or this could talks about tantra occult practitioner who touched the power then rejected the world entirely, leaving unfinished integration. Or this could be a bhakt or jnani who oscillated like between devotion and withdrawal without grounding the realization into life. So the soul returns with compressed karma, one house, one lesson, no distraction. And friends, the most important rule, Jupiter's role becomes very critical in this configuration because Jupiter is no longer supportive. Jupiter becomes the safety wall. If Jupiter in D20 is strong, well placed, unafflicted, rapid spiritual maturation, inner teacher awakens, experiences integrate very safely. And if Jupiter is weak or afflicted in the D20, so confusion between insight and delusion, obsession with experiences, attraction to extreme path or false teacher. So this is why we say that Rahu Ketu same house and weak Jupiter is a danger zone, especially for people who are very inclined towards Kundalini Yoga, Tantra or unguided mantra practices. So friends, house by house meaning with simple variation, because below are only the houses where this placement is most impactful in D20. Okay, I'm not talking about every placement, just few placement. If you have Rahu Ketu in that house where it becomes most impactful. So first house, obviously, identity of the sadhak. It means spiritual identity crisis, ego dissolves repeatedly, rebirth cycles within one lifetime. The gift you have is of authentic humility after repeated breakdowns. The risk is of mistaking ego death for enlightenment. If it is in the 5th house, my second take, Rahu Ketu together, mantra and the past life merit. The meaning is mantra awakens too fast. Old siddhis resurface. Gift is direct access to prior life sadhana. Risk is of using mantra to control outcomes. And the rule is strict niyam is strict rule, consistency, discipline is mandatory. Now friends, if it is in the 8th house, believe me, then also it is very important, because this is the house of Tantra, Kundalini, hidden gates. So meaning inner volcano, extreme transformative pressure. The gift you have, if you have Rahu Ketu in the 8th house in the D20 together, rapid awakening potential. The risk is of the psychological or energetic imbalance if ethics and grounding are weak. And the absolute rule with this placement is no unguided tantra. Because I'm sure even if you in your ascendant chart you have like Rahu Ketu axis in the 2nd or 8th house, or malefic planet like Saturn, Mars in the 8th house, I'm sure you will be very much fascinated, interested in tantra and all. But if it is repeating in the 8th house, especially in the D20 chart, 8th house, Rahu Ketu together, the rule for you is no unguided tantra, please. 9th house is also important. Rahu Ketu being in this house in the D20 chart, it means this is a Guru and the Dharma axis. Rejection of external authority. Inner Guru activation will help you. The gift you have is direct Dharma intuition. Risk could be of those who are unguided, like this could be spiritual arrogance. If it is in the 12th house, one of the most important placement as well, because this is the house of the moksha and the dissolution. In the D20 chart, you have Rahu Ketu together in the 12th house. It means longing for exit, memory of liberation states. The gift you have is of natural vairagya. Risk you have is of escapism, avoidance of life dharma. So friends, how this placement feels subjectively, like, see, the thing is, people with this configuration often report like, I don't fit into any spiritual label, I have done this before but I don't know how. Experience comes very easily but don't satisfy you. You want truth, not the teachings. So this is not confusion, it is like over familiarity. You've been there, done that, experienced that in a soul astral level. So what the soul is being asked to do now with Rahu Ketu together in D20, the instruction is very clear, friends. Stop chasing experiences, start stabilizing wisdom. That means slow practice, be contented with it, ethical clarity, seva, service, humility, integration into daily life. And liberation is no longer dramatic, friends. It is quiet, it is embodied and ordinary. It is a slow process, consistent process. Again, it's the journey, not the destination. So Rahu Ketu in the same D20 house means the axis has collapsed because the lesson is no longer external. There is nothing left to seek outside. Only refinement remains. This is not a beginner's chart, it is a finishing chart. So okay friends, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.